at the farm right now between ICE agents and anti-ICE protesters, the standoff happening on that farm.
You've been busted, Tom Homan. Yeah, Tom Homan, Donald Trump's border czar, was under FBI criminal investigation for taking at least one, could be more, at least one $50,000 bribe from undercover FBI officers who were posing as business executives, as Tom Homan back in September of 2024 promised. In exchange for this $50,000, he would funnel contracts to the Trump regime if Trump were to win. The FBI was then monitoring the behavior of Homan to see if he acted on the bribe and the quid pro quo. But you see, Kash Patel, the FBI director, and Pam Bondi, the attorney general, has just shut down the criminal investigation into Tom Homan. We've got to give a hat tip to the reporters at the Washington Post and MSNBC who reported on this. Carol Leonnig, who does an incredible job, as well as Ken Delanian. And their scoop is that the Trump DOJ just shut down an FBI probe after agents caught border czar Tom Homan on tape. This was caught on video, folks, taking the $50,000 in cash from undercover operatives, posing as contractors in exchange for promised government contracts. AOC, Congresswoman AOC, writes, "Who's the illegal now, Tom Homan?" After Tom Homan, of course, has labeled all of his adversaries illegal migrants and said that he would be going after them. I want to pull up this article right now about Tom Homan, but let me remind you of the type of things that Tom Homan would say, like when he went on Fox on July 11th, 2025, and said, ICE doesn't need probable cause. Remember Tom Homan saying this? Let's play it.
Look, people need to understand, ICE officers and Border Patrol, they don't need probable cause to walk up to somebody, briefly detain them, and question them. They just need this totality of the circumstances, right? They just got through the observation, you know, get articulable facts based on their location, their occupation, their physical appearance, their actions. Like a uniformed Border Patrol agent walks up to them at for instance, a Home Depot. And they got all these articulable facts, plus the person walks away or runs away. Agents are trained.
And then Tom Homan was on the Morning Joe show, and Mika Brzezinski did a really good job here, actually, pushing back against Homan. Let's play it.
I've done this show several times. Every time on your show, I speak with integrity, I speak with honesty, and I speak with facts. The bottom line is, because of all this false narrative, and you using the term disappearing people,
well, that's
disgusting.
What's happened. That happened to the group that was sent to El Salvador.
U.S. citizens get arrested every day. U.S. citizens get arrested by police every day. Are they being disappeared? No, their laws are being enforced. They're being arrested. They're being put in detention because they committed a criminal offense.
Not like what you're doing.
Not even close. We're enforcing the law and arresting people here in violation of law that are public safety threats. That's not disappearing people. That's enforcing the laws of this country and making this country safer.
I thank you very much for explaining what ICE considers to be a danger and a criminal threat. Everybody understands the reality, and we appreciate your sharing that reality with us. And we would love the data. Border czar for the Trump administration, Tom Homan. Thank you very much for coming on the show this morning.
You got it.
And do you recall Tom Homan saying that Donald Trump doesn't have any limitations on his authority to make the country safe again, as he said, meaning target individuals who are nonviolent, non-threats at all, have ICE agents wait in the courtrooms as people who are going through legal process are detained in the courthouses, at churches, at schools, at Home Depot parking lots, food vendors, in factories, in farms. Here, play this clip of Homan.
The greatest nation on earth.
Is enough for that, or do you think it would need to be longer?
President Trump doesn't have a limitation on his authority to make this country safe again. There's no limitation on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Homan.
And then you'll recall Tom Homan saying that he referred AOC for criminal prosecution because she was giving people updates on what their rights are if they were to be stopped by ICE agents. Just a reminder what he said. Then we'll go over this article. Let's play this clip together.
It's like AOC and others don't want ICE to enforce the laws that they enacted. She's a member of Congress. Let us enforce the laws you enacted. That's what we're supposed to do.
You can't go after her. Do you think others should?
No, I think I've asked DOJ, where's that line of impediment, of interference? Now, if someone stands in your way, prevents you from arresting somebody, put your hands on it, that's impediment. But what line is telling people to hide from ICE, not open the door? Where do you cross that line on impediment? So I've simply asked the Department of Justice, give us that line.
You have talked to them about this. That's what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Right, now let's pull up this article, great article from Carol Lenning and Ken Delaney. And Tom Homan was investigated for accepting a $50,000 bribe from undercover FBI agents. Trump's DOJ shut it down. The FBI and justice officials closed the investigation, which a Justice Department appointee had called a deep state probe, in 2025. In an undercover operation last year, the FBI recorded Tom Homan, now the White House border czar, accepting $50,000 in cash after indicating he could help the agents who were posing as business executives win government contracts in a second Trump regime, according to multiple people familiar with the probe and internal documents reviewed by MSNBC. The FBI and Justice Department planned to wait to see whether Homan would deliver on his alleged promise once he became the nation's top immigration official, but the case indefinitely stalled soon after Donald Trump became the president again in January, according to 6 sources familiar with the matter. In recent weeks, Trump appointees officially closed the investigation after FBI Director Kash Patel requested a status update on the case, 2 of the people said. Now, one of the things that I think probably occurred here is that FBI agents saw how embarrassing and humiliating Patel's testimony was to the FBI and to the DOJ, and I think that probably encouraged people to leak this story. It's unclear what reasons FBI and Justice Department officials gave for shutting down the investigation, but a Trump Justice Department appointee called the case a deep state probe in 2025, and no further investigative steps were taken. Sources say the federal investigation was launched in western Texas in the summer of 2024 after a subject in a separate investigation claimed Homan was soliciting payments in exchange for awarding contracts should Trump win the presidential election, according to an internal Justice Department summary of the probe reviewed by MSNBC and people familiar with the case. The U.S. Attorney's Office in the Western District of Texas, working with the FBI, asked the Justice Department's Public Integrity Section to join its ongoing probe into the border czar and former acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement Tom Homan and others based on evidence of payment from FBI undercover agents in exchange for facilitating future contracts related to border enforcement. Homan, who served as acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement during early in Trump's first term, openly claimed during the 2024 campaign that he would play a prominent role in carrying out Trump's promised mass deportation. Asked for comment about MSNBC's exclusive, the White House, the Justice Department, and the FBI dismissed the investigation as politically motivated and baseless. In a statement provided to MSNBC, FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche said the matter originated under the previous administration and was subjected to a full review by FBI agents and Justice Department prosecutors. They found no credible evidence of any criminal wrongdoing. The department's resources must remain focused on real threats to the American people, not baseless investigations. As a result, the investigation has been closed. Folks, corruption, corruption, corruption. White House Deputy Press Secretary Abigail Jackson slammed the probe as a blatantly political investigation, which found no evidence of illegal activity, is yet another example of how the Biden Department of Justice was using its resources to target Trump's allies rather than investigate real criminals and the millions of illegal aliens who flooded our country. Tom Homan has not been involved with any contract contract award decisions. He is a career law enforcement officer and lifelong public servant who's doing a phenomenal job on behalf of Trump and the country. She added on behalf of Homan, a senior White House employee. Homan did not reply to requests for comments. Undercover FBI agents posing as contractors communicated and met several times last summer with a business colleague who introduced them to Homan, and with Homan himself, who indicated he would facilitate securing contracts for them in exchange for money once he was in office, according to the documents and people familiar with the case. On September 20th, 2024, with hidden cameras recording the scene at a meeting spot in Texas, Homan accepted $50,000 in bills, according to an internal summary of the case. FBI agents and Justice Department prosecutors took no further investigative steps in the final months of 2024, the people said, and expected to keep monitoring Homan to determine if he landed a role and would make good on steering contracts to the future Trump administration. When special agents in Texas began probing the subject's claim that Homan was soliciting bribes, the White House border czar 63 was president and owner of a private consulting business that said it could help companies in the border and security industry win government contracts. Homan often accompanied Trump on the campaign trail in 2023 and 2024. Trump comes back in January. I'll be on his heels coming back, and I will run the biggest deportation operation this country's ever seen, Homan said at the National Conservatism Conference in July 2024. Several FBI and justice officials believe that they had a strong criminal case against Homan for conspiracy to commit bribery based on recording him accepting cash and his promise to assist with contracts, according to 4 people familiar with the probe. Homan could have been charged with the crime then, legal experts say, but his case was unusual. He was not a public official, and Trump was not president at the time he accepted money in the FBI's undercover sting, so his actions didn't clearly fit under a standard of bribery. Top officials privately debated the possible charges, given Homan's status at the time. People familiar with the case said, but several concluded it would be better for the investigation to continue to monitor his actions once he was back in public office, so they were watching it. MSNBC asked legal experts about a hypothetical situation similar to the Homan probe. They said a person who promises to influence federal contracts when they become public official can't be charged under the federal bribery statutes until they are named or appointed to such a post. If the person did get the administration job, then reaffirmed his promise or communicated in some way about his plan to deliver, investigators could make a strong bribery case. So they were waiting on that, but then he was pulled off, but then the investigation was shut down by the Trump regime. Well, there you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Should we show what AOC said? Let's show what AOC said. This is what AOC said after Homan threatened her a few months back. Let's play it.
And when we first did one of these seminars, Tom Homan, then acting director of ICE, said that he was going to threaten to refer me to DOJ because I'm using my free speech rights in order to advise people of their constitutionally guaranteed protections, and he may want to do it again today. And to that I say, come for me. You're going to have to come for me. Do I look like I care? Because the way that we guarantee in this moment, when people say, how do we protect against everything that's going on? How do we make sure that what can we do to prevent this erosion, all this stuff that's happening? We do it by exercising and using our constitutional rights. Our rights are use it or lose it. So we need to use it. And we need to challenge them. So don't let them intimidate you into thinking that you're doing something wrong by telling people what their actual legal constitutional rights are. There's nothing wrong about it, and there's nothing illegal about it. And if they want to make it illegal, they can come take me. That's how I feel about it.
And finally, here's what Governor Newsom had to say today about this regime. Let's play it.
Unmarked cars, people en masse, people quite literally disappearing, no due process, no rights in a democracy where we have rights. Immigrants have rights. And we have the right to stand up and push back. And that's what we're doing here today. This is a disgrace. This is an outrage, what we have allowed to happen in this country. And I could not be more proud of this legislature, the legislative authors, to the community demanding more from all of us at this moment to push back. I'll be signing a bill, the first in the nation, saying enough. ICE, unmask. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of?
There you have it. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. Thank you so much for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.